All right, so it's 11 a.m. sharp. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our onboarding webinar to Capacity4dev platform for development professionals. At the beginning, because as you might know, because all of you are actually already registered on our platform, Capacity4dev is a community platform which is mainly for the development professionals. And in this sense, we also prepared for you at the beginning of this meeting a bit of networking, which will also facilitate the time for the people who will be connecting at the first minutes of the 11 a.m. But the community, as we are here right now, over 40 people, we would like to also know more about you, about your project, what you are working on right now, and facilitate also the communication and connections around you. So how does it work? So first, you unmute yourself and introduce yourself. So for example, in my case, I am a Marie Zametsnikova. Also your position. So I am a Capacity4dev community manager. And also you can tell us more about your project or what do you expect from this webinar. So for example, in my case, I want to provide effective support to our users, which means to you, but you can also tell us what we are working on right now in terms of the development and also where are you from. So who would like to start to introduce herself or himself to our community, as we are here more than 50 people right now, actually. That's great. So I already see some people having open cameras, so maybe Alexander Rokos.
Yes, hi, good morning, everybody. My name is Alexander Rokos. I'm the Associate Statistician at the International Coffee Organization. One of the areas of focus that the organization is focusing on is the EU Green Deal, 2030 Green Deal, in addition to an area of focus being the EU deforestation regulation. So we're looking to learn more about the infrastructure around that, and I look forward to meeting everybody. Nice to see everybody. Thank
Thank you
you,
very
Maria.
much for a warm welcome to our community as well. And indeed, you are at the right place because Capacity4dev is also the place for the EU Green Deal and other development policies. So definitely, we will be also covering how to leverage the most this platform, Capacity4dev. And for me, it's very important that you share what you actually expect from this webinar because I can directly navigate the whole webinar towards your needs and who you actually are and use the different kind of phrases which are really familiar to you during also the virtual tour which we will have after that. Who next would like to introduce themselves to our community? Just don't hesitate to unmute yourself and tell us more about your name, your position, what you are working on right now.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes. Hello,
Okay.
Colin.
Hi, everyone. So nice to meet you. My name is Colin O'Driscoll, and I work for Etifor. It's a spin-off of the University of Padova in Italy. It's a startup-like company, and we essentially our mission is to restore the balance between people and nature. I lead a team of 5 individuals who build impact-driven, sustainable development projects around the world. Interesting to hear the person who spoke before me. We just launched through EU funding a platform and that is going to build a global alliance on sharing knowledge and capacity on the EUDR. So we just got funding for a 3-year project for this. So I can share the link in the chat here already. What do I expect from this? Well, I see networking in the slide there. So already based on the person that spoke before me, I can see interesting connections from that. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Colm. And indeed, Capacity4dev is not only for example, EU officials or experts on the field, but it's also for the private sector professionals, also other startup-like companies, etc. So I will be also talking more about the community as such. So what community we actually having at Capacity4dev. So thank you so much for the introduction. I see that people already started to raise hands. That's great for the organization. So Evert, please, I see that you raised the hand first.
Good morning, everybody. Nice to meet you. My name is Evert Rijmakers. I work for RTRS, which is the Roundtable on Responsible Soy standard and certification for responsible soy production worldwide. We are very closely engaged with several legislation processes. The EUDR is one of them. My role is Europe Outreach and Engagement Manager. And what do I expect from this meeting? To be perfectly honest, I have no idea. That is why I'm joining. I would really like to understand what is capacity for development, what is your role, and how could we benefit from that? So I'm particularly keen on finding out what exactly you do. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And indeed, we will be covering all of these questions that you just mentioned in a bit. So just hold with us, and I will tell you more about Capacity for Dev. From where is it from, where it started, etc. Also a brief history. I will not be boring, I promise. But then we will also jump into the practice, how to actually use it, because it's a very powerful tool for development professionals. So the next one is Vala.
Thank you so much. And unfortunately, I'm not ready yet to open my camera, but I want to introduce myself from Egypt. I'm Walid Farid. I'm working as in partnerships and projects in Mediterranean Youth Foundation for Development, and also I'm EG connector in Egypt. And I'm glad to be with you today. Networking, I think it's a basic for our partnerships, for our implementation of the projects, listening to different or the diversity of the cultures and opinions. I think it's a really important topic. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I really like when people are connecting from different countries around the world. It's always really refreshing and opening very interesting discussions. And indeed, the networking is a very important part when it comes to the connecting of the community. And just to briefly mention, we had recently a migration on the new platform, which started in May 2023. Why I'm mentioning it, it's because we have many new functions on our platform which actually facilitate the networkings, and it's something slightly like LinkedIn. So we will also jump into these functions and features just in a bit. The next one is Nahid Hassan.
Thank you. Yes, my name is Nahid Hassan Shuman. I am based in Germany. I work for CBM. It's an organization working for and with persons with disabilities in developing countries. So we have a couple of ongoing European Union funded projects, mostly in education and climate change. Say, for example, in Rwanda, in Nigeria, in Honduras, in Gaza. So all these projects often produce knowledge document, knowledge products through existing project reporting, but as well as through other studies, which can be very useful for the communities. And I understand the Capacity for Dev platform is to kind of use to disseminate some of those knowledge products for the wider practice and scale up. So nice to be here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nahid, and nice to meeting you too. And indeed, Capacity for Dev is a knowledge sharing platform. So if I heard that you are very busy and that you have many projects, this is actually the platform where you can, for example, share documents with the peers from the same sector, similar sector, or even the different one, to exchange the opinions and also share the lessons learned. So indeed, it's exactly what you said before, but much more. The next one is Anaela Simon.
Hello, Thank you for this introduction. I'm Anaëlle Simon. I work from the ROM Global, which is the service for result-oriented monitoring based in Brussels. We basically provide services to EU-funded interventions. So we can provide ROM overviews, meaning that we visit the countries where the interventions are being implemented to monitor, and we provide reports to the Commission or to the EU delegations to give recommendations how to improve the implementation of interventions, or we can also provide services about data collection or revising the logical frameworks. And it's what I was doing recently, revising some logical frameworks for some interventions. And for this, I was looking at Capacity4dev for the indicators. This is very great source of data, of methodology. So thank you for this.
Thank you very much. And I will be also speaking more about resources. As Anela just mentioned, there are many different resources, such as, for example, Team Europe initiatives or results and indicators, where you can actually find horizontal resources which are more broad and which also provide you with more data for your daily professional activities. So this will be also covered. And thank you for Anela to bring it to the table. The next one is Antonio.
Hello, good
Antonio
morning.
Carlos.
Yeah. Hello, good morning, everyone, or good afternoon. Sorry, good morning. Yes, I'm Antonio Carlos Ruiz. I work as a consultant, innovation consultant at CTA, it's the Corporación Tecnológica de Andalucía. We are a multi-sectoral cluster involved in a number of EU projects in the green and digital transition, among other areas. And as other colleagues have mentioned, I'm interested to know more about this platform, and particularly in regards to exploring the potential for us to develop projects in development, international development. Thank you.
Thank you very much for sharing. And indeed, you can be, for example, a member of the group, or you can also, for example, consume the information from the project. But you can also become group owner or administrator, and this also applies to the project and resources. So you can actually be one of the leaders of Capacity4dev, and you can also drive the knowledge sharing on our platform. So this is also one of the core functionalities that we have, and this also will be available for you. We have 3 last participants who want to introduce themselves, and the next one is Mahmoud.
Yes, hello everyone. I'm Mahmoud from Egypt. I'm working for A'mar as a smart cities solution manager. My role is mainly related to technology and how to build use cases and find the funding for the different technology services and solutions that serve our community. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I like to see that there are today a lot of people from Egypt, which is great. So thank you so much and nice to meeting you. And the next one is Werner.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lena Christine. I work for GIZ, the German Development Cooperation Agency. I'm based in Brussels, and my position here is a business scout. So I work in private sector cooperation, private sector engagement, and yeah, I have basically a networking position, trying to get, to matchmake private sector in our partner countries with European companies. So I'm really looking forward what to expect from this platform. And I recently found out that actually the Inspire unit has a site here, and I can actually access a lot of relevant documents. So I was really excited about that, and I'm keen to see more. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And as we have a limited time, then the last one who would introduce to ourselves is Aneta.
Thank you for giving me the floor. I'm working in the security sector, international relations, capacity building, all this in Southeastern Europe. Why I'm interested in the platform, it is that after project interventions, usually we leave, and what is the sustainability after that? My idea is somehow to continue contacts with the beneficiaries and with all these wonderful men and women whom I met, trained, and worked with. So this is why I'm participating. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Aneta. And I see that many people actually have also still raised hand, but as we are more than 70 people in this meeting, it would take really long and we would just be networking here for the full hour. So let me just jump into the webinar. And in case that you want to share with other participants something about your project, don't hesitate to use the chat during the webinar. But then now let's start. So as I said before, welcome to Capacity4dev onboarding webinar. My name is Marie Zametsnikova and I am the community manager of Capacity4dev. Community manager is someone who will be always the first point of contact for you. If you have any questions, any queries, or even the technical issues on our platform, you can just reach out to me and I will then disseminate your message to other colleagues of mine, which can mean, for example, the editorial team, business coordination, or IT. So what we will be covering today. First, I will tell you more about the basics. So, for example, what is Capacity4dev? Who can use our platform? What are the features and functions available for you? How you can benefit from the platform being a user. In case that you are not sure how to log in, we will be also covering what is EU login and how to briefly log in, and how to use the platform in general, including the virtual tour, because I always believe that theory is quite limited without the practice. And at the end, we will have a question and answer window. In case that you would like to clarify something, then you can just unmute yourself and ask any kind of question in the real time. However, you can also use the chat. So in case that, for example, you have something in mind during the presentation, don't hesitate to just put it in the chat and I will review it either during the question and answer section or then after the webinar and send you the answer after the webinar in the thank you note. So our agenda is quite packed. So let's start with what is Capacity4dev. So Capacity4dev was launched in 2009 and is a DG International Partnerships online knowledge sharing platform. It has a leading position on knowledge sharing in the field of external relations. It's a European community with over 10,000 users. And we had currently, as I also said during our networking, the migration of the platform in May 2023. This is very important and it's also why it's highlighted here on this slide, because we did a lot of developments and the identity of the whole platform is very different than it was before the May 2023. And therefore, there are a lot of new functions and features available for you, but also we still are developing some more things, which I will be telling you more in a bit. But first, what do we actually do? What this editorial team, IT team, and the community manager actually do of Capacity4dev? So in a nutshell, we connect, we collaborate, we exchange, and we do it worldwide. We connect development professionals, meaning you. We foster the collaborations among you, from the EU officials to experts on the field to the private sector to startup-like companies, etc. And we facilitate the exchange of expertise. And we, of course, do it around the world. As you could also hear, our community is not just in the European Union, but is around the world, and there are many people from the different continents. So who can use the Capacity4dev platform? So on average, we have 300 new member requests per month. I say member requests, not really a members, because as a community manager, My role is actually to secure the community and to also validate all of the new users who are coming to our platform. So we receive on average 300 new requests. However, only a proportion make it to as members. This is also why we really encourage our new users to use the professional email address with a professional domain, because this is really facilitating during the validation. This is mainly because, for example, there might be the spamming attempts with the different domains, which are, for example, the Gmail, Yahoo, or Hotmail, and therefore we really recommend the professional email address. In case that you don't want to use the professional email address, it also might be the case, and you want to really to use the Gmail, Yahoo, etc., then don't hesitate to reach out to me, or for example, right here in the chat, just validate or validation, and I will after this webinar check your user account in the backend, and I will also validate your account. So it's also not a problem. It's just a slightly longer procedure for validation, but it's mainly for the security purposes. Also, from where is our community? Our community is the RELEX family from the EU institutions, which means, for example, FBI, European External Action Service, DG International Partnership, DG NEAR, and others. Also, for example, governments official, international organizations, NGO and civil society. We also have, for example, professor and students on our platform. And last but definitely not least is the private sector, which means the consultants, experts, startups, and other companies. So definitely, even this list is not ending, because anybody who is affiliating with the development field can be part of Capacity4dev and benefit from its spaces and the knowledge sharing features. So what is the added value? Why actually me should be part of Capacity4dev platform? What I would actually gain from it? So I have to say that throughout my experience as community manager, the Capacity4dev is the only collaborative platform where all RELEX family members can interact with equal access in a public, restricted, and private environments. I think that we didn't hear anybody during our networking from the EU institutions, but this mainly applies, for example, to the EU delegations from the European Commission and the European External Action Service, because the EU institutions, they don't have the same platform where they can actually communicate. So some of them use Zoom, some of them use Teams, etc. And Capacity4dev is the only place where all of the EU officials can actually communicate together in private, restricted, or public spaces. If you are not familiar with these terms, don't worry, because I will be covering it in a bit. It's also hosted within the EU institution in a secure IT environment. So everything is secured and inside the European Commission house. Capacity4dev is also a community-created platform. It means that from 80%, Capacity4dev is created by you, by our community. So it means mainly from the group, project, resources, owners, and administrators who are uploading the data and also launching discussions on our platform. And then, of course, the users, the members who are members of different groups, they can give a feedback to the different groups or share a knowledge from the projects and resources. And we are also not ending with Capacity4dev platform, because nowadays the social media are definitely also the part of the game. And we are active on X, or former Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. YouTube is also a very interesting one, because we have two channels. We have Capacity4dev official channel, and we have Capacity4dev guest channel. Guest channel serves mainly for the people who wants to share, for example, videos on Capacity4dev platform, because you cannot upload the video as such on a platform, but you should embed it, which means that always the video has to be uploaded on YouTube, and then from YouTube you embed it to Capacity4dev or provide a link. In case that you don't have your YouTube channel, then you can use our Capacity4dev guest channel, where we will be uploading your video, and then you can use it and disseminate inside the different spaces on Capacity4dev. Also, there is something still coming from the migration, and it's the multilingual website, which is still in the process and should come early 2024. So Capacity4dev will no longer be only in English, but it will also be translated in French and Spanish by a human translator. Why I say the human translator, it's mainly because now on our platform you also have availability to translate the whole website by the machine into any kind of language. So I'm, for example, from the Czech Republic, and I also can get Capacity4dev in a Czech language by the machine translation, which should be available in the top right corner. However, of course, when it's the machine translation, we cannot guarantee that there will not be grammar mistakes or that it will be perfect translation. But the multilingual website, which will be translated in the 3 languages, this will be by human, and therefore we can guarantee that it will be almost perfect, because anyway, humans also make mistakes. So what features are available for you on the platform? I was mentioning it many times. We have groups, projects, resources, and articles. So what is the difference between these different features? So the group is a dedicated space for collaboration and interactivity on specific topics, geographic areas, or projects. So definitely, if you want to interact with other members and make more of the networking and collaboration, you should be interested in a groups, either to become a member, or you can also launch your own group. The next one is project. Project is rather about the sharing knowledge. It's something like an external website. So you can imagine that, for example, if you go on external website of some project, you can see what that project is about, what is the team, about them, you can contact them, etc. But you usually cannot really collaborate. So the project is like external website where we share knowledge. Is also you can choose between three different statuses, which means ongoing, completed, or not started yet. It's also free and lasting. What I mean by free is that usually the external websites, or if you have, for example, a contract with European Commission on your EU-funded project, then you know that the external websites are not for free, and definitely they need a lots of maintenance, and not all of us actually have a website building skills. So project on Capacity4dev might be a solution for you, because you can present your project on our platform, and you can tell to people what you are doing, who you are, what trainings, for example, are available, or you can even give them the hyperlink to your external website, which will serve as a bridge, so you will have bigger outreach. And definitely the added value is that Capacity4dev has quite a traffic in terms of visitors and also members, and therefore when somebody will search on Google about the different keywords, they will be your results will be at the top searches. So this is also an added value. When I say also lasting is, as I said before, there are 3 different statuses. So either it can be completed, ongoing, or not started yet, and it's lasting. So for example, when you have contract for 4 years, and then in 2027, when it ends, then you just put your project as completed, and it will just stay on Capacity4dev. So people will know that this project was already completed. You don't need to update it anymore, but it will still serve as a repository of information, what you have done an amazing work during the last 4 years. And the last one is resources. The resources also now have a new feature, which is that the public can create their own resources since the migration. Before 2023, it was not possible. Resources were just static pages, for example, results and indicators or Team Europe initiative. However, the public or the users of our platform, they could not create their own resources. Currently, it's possible, and the resources are for creation, sharing, and access a wide range of tools, key references, and also material and much more. We also have help and support guidance on our platform. I will also show you where is it in the virtual tour, where we have the different conditions. Um, Groups and projects, in a 99% of the cases, we usually approve. So all of these spaces, when you would like to become owner or administrator, needs to go through validation process, which means we send it to the European Commission, to the EU official, to actually check if this group, project, or resource is relevant to our community. And in 99% of cases, we approve the groups and projects. However, resources have different conditions. It's more horizontal. And in help and support section, which I will show you after, we have different conditions that the resource needs to meet before the submission. So in many cases, it happens that the resources are usually rejected, and we recommend more to go for the groups or the projects. The last are articles. Before I said that Capacity4dev is actually created by you, by our community, because we are the community platform. And 20%, the rest of 20% is our editorial team, who is publishing the articles on the best practices and lessons learned from professionals in the field and in cooperation with DG International Partnership Units. I will also tell you more about where you can find these articles, because they are also translated in 3 different languages, and you can also benefit from the different lessons learned. So now you can have a question. All right, Marie, but now I am a bit confused what actually I need in terms of the Capacity4dev spaces, because it's quite a lot of information. And we have here a really nice diagram which we developed recently to help our users to know what kind of space they need. So you can see here that if you want to have interaction with the members, then it should be group. Group can be also public, restricted, or private. If you don't really want to have a maintenance of your space and you want to rather go by the path of the sharing knowledge about your project without not a lot of interactions, because you don't have a lot of capacity to dedicate to it, then you would open a project which can be always public only. And if you are still not satisfied because you want something more horizontal and a non-thematic resource, then you would go for the resource as such, which can also be only public. So now I think that it was enough of the theory, and I would like to move directly to the practice of Capacity4dev, and I will share my screen with the website. So just a second for me to change my screens. Yes. So now you should be able to see Capacity4dev homepage. I think that most of you already visited this homepage, and what is very interesting about it is that we have actually 2 different homepages. So this one is for the public when you are not logged in, where you can find the main information, let's say the higher context of what is Capacity4dev. You can also watch an interactive video about what Capacity4dev is. And since today, we actually have a new banner where you can meet Capacity4dev ambassadors. Since next year, so since January 2024, we will be dedicating much more capacity to actually having more activity for our users and for our community, such as networkings, members coffees, also focused group, etc. And for this, we also made the new program, which is called Ambassadors Program of Capacity4dev, where you can see our leaders of this cohort who will be actually helping us to facilitate these activities with us. But you can also find the highlights of the groups, different interventions in the interactive map, etc. So now I will log in. So you can see that when you click on login, you will get reconnected. You will get reconnected to the EU login, and this is mainly also for the security purposes. EU login is the separated entity from Capacity4dev, but it's one-stop shop of all of the applications of European Commission. So if in the past you were, for example, connecting to one of the European Commission applications and you already registered with the EU login, you can use the same login details as before. If you are the EU official, you automatically have the EU login and you can register even with your EU login already, and all of the fields will be transferred to our platform. If you do not have EU login, also it's not problem because you can simply register for it. So now I am logged in and you can see that I have totally different homepage. This homepage is actually personal feed. What does it mean is that based on my own algorithm, I get the suggestions. This is also something new that we developed recently. And you can also get suggestions about upcoming events, upcoming, for example, new groups, or the projects suggested for you based on the criteria that you selected during the registrations, which means your topics and your countries. So based on this, which you can also modify in your profile, but I will show you in a bit. And you can also see who you are following and who are your followers and who to follow. So this is the new feature, also something like the LinkedIn. So you can discover more about what Capacity4dev is suggesting for you based on your own algorithm. Then next to the homepage, you have a topics. So I said that you should select the topics during the registration. However, when, for example, you want to search by the different topics and see what documents are available on our platform, for example, regarding the human rights, you can either choose just human rights or go to the subtopic, and you can also read more about the different latest activities, groups that are published on our platform with this exact topic, and also the others. In the countries I was before, it's the interactive map where you can actually select the country of your choice and see, for example, how many different groups or projects or even discussions we have regarding that specific country. So, for example, I clicked here on France and we have 6 groups, 3 projects, 7 discussions, 16 library items, etc. regarding this exact project. So you can then go to country and again navigate yourself throughout the tabs that you already know and search for the different items. You can also follow the specific item, such as the document, project, group, etc. You can bookmark, so if you want to read it in the future. You can also like, if you, for example, like something what you saw, or you can share on the external platforms. When it comes to also the documents, you can also share within Capacity4dev platform. So let's say that you have something interesting what you found in the project called Creating Sustainable Means, and you want to share it also in the EU mobile labs because you think that people would actually benefit from it if they would not know this exact document. So then you can just share it on our platform, and it looks like that you click on the share button and here will be written Capacity4dev. When we will be in some document during the virtual tour, I will maybe show you how it looks in practice if we will come across the exact item. So here now we are in articles. So all of this tab is actually created by our editorial team. So it's editorially reviewed, also collaborated with the unit from the commission, etc. So you can read about it. We also have currently our podcast, so you can also here you can also listen to our new podcast. So here you can also filter by different keywords, the topics, SDGs, countries, and article types. We also had a question in the past regarding what is actually the difference between the SDGs and the topics. Because when you look at them, they are slightly similar. And you can actually ask why we don't just have SDGs. Because usually development professionals know what is the number of the SDG and what they are interested in. And I found it as a really good question. However, they are slightly different, and the topics were actually decided and revised by the units of DG International Partnership. And this is mainly why, because the Capacity for Dev is the DG International Partnership platform. And this is why we can then navigate you towards the right topic and the right experts in case it's needed. Then we also have the resources. So this is what we have mentioned during the networking part, where you can find the official resources. So for example, Work Better Together or the results and indicators. However, we also have the resources which were published by our users, by the members. So these you can find or the whole overview of them together with the official ones when you hover over the browse content and you navigate to the resources. Here you can also see the button create the resource in case that you want to become the owner or administrator of the resource, and the same apply to the groups and projects. So when you click on the groups, here you can see create the project. And here, when you click on the groups, you have the results of the groups on Capacity4dev. And here you can see if the group is public, private, or restricted. Of course, the private ones you will see only if you are if you are group owner or administrator of that exact group, or if you got invited to the group. You can see, for example, here I get invited to one of the groups, so I can just visit my profile and I can see to what group I got invited and if I want to accept this exact invitation. So what is the difference between the public, restricted, and private? So to the public groups, you can simply just request a membership. This also works on two different bases. Either you can just join the group without actually requesting the approval from the group owner or administrator. So you can just join, and it means that the group has limited moderations. So the group owners or administrators doesn't need to give you approval to be a member. If a group owner or administrator wants to have the moderation and want to actually guide the specific people inside their group and have the specific community inside the group, then you need to request a membership, what I just did here, and you can see that my request is waiting approval. When the approval will be when they will give me the approval, I will be able to find it in my notification, as you also are used to from other social media platforms. You can also see here the overview of the likes, you can bookmark, you can share. You can see here also more information, who is the owner, who is the administrator. This is many times overlooked because then, for example, people write to me that they want to change some information which is not correct. However, it was created actually by these few people. So then you can just click on, for example, in this case, Yamila Statu. And if Yamila agreed that she wants to be contacted by members on our platform, then you will be having the feature to be able to contact her. So you can then write her a message, you can also tell her about yourself, and you can connect together. And you can also follow her. So then you will also receive the different tip and tricks what the Yamila actually likes, what she's following, what she read, etc. So it's very powerful for the networking purposes. So I definitely recommend to also look into it. Part of the group, you have also different tabs. So for you as a member, so when you requested a membership, let me just go to the one that we were before. So for you, when you requested a membership, the most interesting is to see if actually the group is active, if what is the info. So here usually you can find inside the group the different table tabs. So usually they have, for example, the different categories such as the trainings, or for example different information interesting for the members of their community, so who they are, etc. So it also serves something like the external website where they can present as many information as possible. You can also see that there are discussions. So, for example, the group owner or administrator, or also the members of the exact community, they can start the discussion inside a different group. And you can do it by here clicking on the yellow button post content. When you click on the post content, you will get this kind of menu. So you can choose if actually you want to post a library item. So for example, upload document, photo, video, audio, etc. Or you can start a discussion. And when you click on starting a discussion, it will ask you where exactly you want to start this discussion. This is mainly also the new feature because you, as a development professional, for example, in agriculture, you can be part of many groups on our platform, because there might be more groups interesting for you as an agriculture expert, and therefore you can post the same discussion into the different spaces. So you select in which spaces you want to publish this exact discussion, and then you select next. Here you can write more about it. So for example, select the type of discussion, title, body, and you can still edit the location if you decide not to do it. Then you just fill out the CAPTCHA, and then you post the content or save as a draft if you didn't finish the post yet and you want to save it for later. You also have, of course, other. So, for example, create an event. This is also very interesting because it usually appears in the global navigation bar in the events. So it's also really good for the outreach of the different groups. And create a news. This is specifically for the projects. So when you click on the project, it looks similar to the groups. So you see the overview of all of the projects that we have available. You see if they are ongoing, completed, or not started yet. And you can again follow, bookmark, etc. The main difference is that projects are more customizable. So you can customize the navigation bar of the project. You can also see from when to when the project is ongoing, and you can also see that they have the news. There are also the info. So the info is the same as in the group. And then we have the library and the events, which can also be inside the project. I will jump directly to the members because this might be the most interesting for you as development professionals for networking purposes. And here is mainly that you can find as many people as possible. So, for example, you can search by the private sector, EU institution, etc. So you can directly search for example, EU institution. Let's say that agriculture, and we will see if I can, yes, and you can get, for example, the list of the people who are on our platform, and who with whom you can get into contact or who you can follow. You can also sort them by recently joined or the most active, and you can also contact them, etc. And then you have the global view of the events. When it comes to your profile, you can also manage the different settings and also your network. So you just clicked on your profile and then click on my profile. And here you can see your profile. You can also change, for example, some information like organization. You can write the bio about me. So when you, for example, post the content, then we know who you are. You can also put your profile image. You can change your interests, which will then help to your personal feed and your algorithm. And the last but not least is the notifications. The notifications are still in development since the migration, but it will be as soon as possible working until the end of this year, where actually by default it's usually weekly, but you can also change it to daily, monthly, etc. And the notifications which you can see here are different than the one at the top, and these notifications are mainly the one that you receive via the email. So now if I click on Save Changes, I will receive notifications via email weekly, which means something like newsletter. So I will receive, based on my interest, followings, networks, etc. I will receive a newsletter of the new items, contents, and the people for the recommendation of followings, for example. You can also then search here more about the different. Here you can see in overview the spaces that I am owner or administrator of. But here in the spaces, here you can find the different overview of the spaces that I actually, for example, follow or I am member of. Then the overview of my discussions. If I launched some discussions or discussions that I commented on, the different followings. So which articles or which documents I'm following. My library. So if you want to create the repository of your documents, this is also very powerful. For example, if you have the private group, which works, for example, that you can actually create the private group of just by invitation. So you, for example, want to invite 10 people from your unit, for example, to this group, and you want to share with them these exact documents, or you want to create a restricted group, which is different because you can actually select the domain address. For example, ec.europa.eu, which means only for the commission people. And then only commission people will see your group. Also the bookmarks, so which articles I have bookmarked to see later or read them. My network, which is the following, so who I am following, who are my followers, etc. And then we have also the new function, which is the chat. So you can here also chat with the different members of our group. If you want to launch a new chat, you just click on the bubble, you search for the member, and you click on send. You can also delete the thread, mark as unread, mark as spam, etc. And then you have also your statistics. I have created this user just for the onboarding webinar purposes, so you can see that there is not a lot of activity right now. And here on the top right corner is the machine translation feature. So I think that I was talking quite a lot for a while. I can talk about it for hours, So I hope that I was not too overwhelming for you, and I hope that you gain some more information about how to collaborate on this platform and how to actually use it. Now I'm open to questions because during the webinar I didn't have a chance to actually monitor the webinar, but I see that somebody raised the hand, and it's Marie.
Yes, hello. Good morning, everyone. My question, I wrote it in the chat, but I wanted just to make sure that it's understandable. I have a concrete issue is that as a Team Europe initiative coordinator, I'm supposed to enable at the same time collaborative work, communication, internal and external, and knowledge sharing. And there are several tools, of course. You have MS Teams, which is the most comprehensive one, but I face challenges with some of the actors who are not allowed to use Teams because of data protection issues. And then you have Capacity4dev, which is not enabling to collaborate directly in documents. So that's a bit of a additional work where the added value is not always that straightforward. And I was wondering if any of the participants or if you have like maybe strategy to like use Capacity4dev at its full potential, but to also have a kind of a way of working together also, or if it's only for knowledge sharing, and if really if that's the way forward, like if I have as coordinator to use a combination of a global gateway platform, Cap4dev, and Teams.
Yeah, it's definitely a really fair question, I think. And indeed, the collaboration is quite difficult when it comes to the different platforms. And Capacity4dev, I can. So, what is the main issue? What I understood is that, for example, you put on Capacity4dev, let's say, the PDF or the Word document, but there is no the possibility or the feature that people would be able to actually comment inside the document as such to actually collaborate with the different stakeholders. What I have in mind, what might be the alternative in this case, is that there is a comment function. So maybe to create more of the structure, because indeed the Capacity4dev is rather for the knowledge sharing. But if you really need it for the collaboration on the specific pager, for example, and you might have, if it's like really specific, also audience, because I guess that this is not really for the public, because then it might be a bit overwhelming for the people to know if to what extent they can, for example, give you feedback or something. But I can imagine this in the private group,
It
for
would
example.
be restricted, yes.
Yeah, restricted with the exact audience. So to provide them some kind of structure, because you can also write, for example, the introduction. So like, this is the document that we would like to collaborate with you on. We are using this platform because it's, let's say, for the accessibility purposes. If you have some kind of comment to this document, then you can like put the comment in the section. Or also like if these people would be, let's say, administrators, then you can also copy paste the text, and they can edit the exact post. This is also possible, but then I have more in mind why you don't actually use like a SharePoint or some other solutions, because Capacity4dev is rather for the sharing knowledge. And this might be slightly more complicated, but there are also alternatives. So it depends what is actually the easiest for the exact specific case, because I also don't know how big the file is, etc.
No, but that's a good advice. And also, like I was thinking, it's a good complement to the global gateway, which is like the larger public information sharing, but then this link with Capacity4dev for more restricted communication. So thank you very much. That's yeah.
Thank you very much, Marie, and I will also forward this query to our business coordination, because it's definitely also a good hint for maybe future development. I also see that Vala has raised hand.
Thank you, Maria, for this info session. I really appreciate your efforts. I have two questions. Question number one, it's regarding to the courses that the website provide to the youth. All these courses or some of courses I should have pay for it, or all the courses is free. And the second question about the project, if I wanted to announce or I wanted to implement a project or writing a proposal, and I want some people from different countries to help me or working with me on this project. Um, I announce about it in the website. I create first a profile, and then I announce about my interesting or my project on the website. Um, if you if you clarify this point, and thank you.
Yeah, so most of the events are for free, but you will find more of the information regarding the specific event in the description of the event as such. So definitely just go to the event tab and then like search for the events that you would like to participate in. If you are not sure, you can anytime also write to the owner of that event regarding more information. But we have also experienced with this many times, rather than that it would be paid, is that it's restricted. So it's, for example, only for the EU institution people. So then the public doesn't have sometimes the access to it. So this might be the only restriction from my experience so far. And regarding the project, we usually recommend. So if you have actually some project that you are working on right now, so it might be the EU funded project, then you usually have a team that you work with. These people usually should be aware of the project that you are working on, and then you submit it. If you, for example, want to launch some group where you want to get the feedback, where you want to gather the community and around the specific topic, let's say, for example, the climate change, you can get in touch with some of our members, ask them if they would like to open a group with you, or also next year we will have some more networking activities, or you can just actually submit the group on your own, and then you will see where it will go. But remember that you need some specific capacity for it to actually maintain the community, to also secure some documents, etc., because it cannot be inactive. So I hope that it answered your question.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I see that it's already 2 minutes after the 12. And I would just like to ask you the last thing. We usually are doing the picture on our social media channels. So if you want to be on our social media channels, just open your camera and we will do the group picture all together. As new onboarded people, I already see so many people are opening the camera. So I see Marta, Pedro, Enric, Ian, Antonio, Colm, and also the other people. That's great. Not yet running for the lunch. So I have the view. So in 3, 2, 1, cheese, smile. So thank you very much. And
Can I ask?
yes, I just
Only
wanted
one
to say
special
that
question.
if somebody wants to have more questions, we can stay longer. But if you need to run away, also don't hesitate to just leave the comment about the feedback of this webinar, so that we can improve for the next time. But I will for sure be in touch with you via email, and I will just now stay here if in case you want to discuss some different issues. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Only one very short question from my side.
Yes, tell me.
Will you share the resources and documentation and the video as well for reference?
Yes, I will share the presentation if this is what you have in mind.
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. I will be also sending the thank you note, so you will have also the recording of this session in case that some of your colleague would like to have it as well. So don't worry. Any other questions you might have? And if not, then I wish you bon appetit if it's the lunchtime for you. If it's evening or morning, then I wish you have a nice rest of the day or evening. And I would also check the chat for the comments and also the validation things. So thank you so much and have a nice rest of the day. Bye.
Thank you.
Nice
The
day.
same.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.